Hey everybody, welcome to session 77 of Materia D&D, where we play Dungeons and Dragons the way we want to. Uh, Last time, the Menagerie and friends um, kind of had a split adventure in our session. Rock was separated from the group while the rest of the Menagerie were taken away in a flash of light at the Boulder Fields. Menagerie came to consciousness in cages and trapped in the ethereal version of the Boulder Fields, which Davis had seen prior. Um, Here, Amy introduced her sisters of their coven, a bone hag and a harvest hag. Here, they were also introduced to a Leonin tracker, uh, who was later to be introduced as Karos the Dusk Watcher, if I recall correctly. The menagerie, given you know encouragement, let's call it, with Hava and Wiggs being held captive, being told that a threat is on the ethereal that not only is an obstacle and a threat for the Hag's plans, but if it were to cross into the Narrowscape, I don't know why I kept calling it. Well, I mean, I know why I was calling it the material, but the Narrowscape and the material plane are the same thing in our world. Um, that if it crossed into the Narrowscape, that it would wreak havoc and destroy everything, anyways. So, given the situation and with Karos's unique skills being amplified by a device created by Wiggs, the artificer, the menagerie were given back their equipment and a bag of holding, and they continued on to this plan, which was to use the device to track down this entity that has thwarted capture and by the hags, and they followed it down to where the river Sly would be running in the materials or narrow escape, and it was a giant chasm. They traveled down in the chasm and they found a uniquely energized cavern. In the cavern, they encountered this guardian, a four-legged pit bull slash mastiff like creature with heavy plate armor, kind of resembling like insect chitinous plating, a 30-foot massive barbed tongue, and it's proved to be extremely durable. However, the menagerie were able to fell it. Upon its death, they were left with the mystery of, well, what is this crystalline structure that has glyphs in a language that Sej sort of recognized as it was a old form of celestial, or it was very rooted in celestial. Um, but in the meantime, while this was going on, Rock was still on the material. He desperately ran to find the people that they had saved from the boulder fields previously, told them of his plan. He ran back into town, gathered some information, got tracked by some of the people of the eastern side of town, which he had been warned about. Um, Rolled a critical hit and bashed a dude's brain in with his staff of the croak, while some of Essos and his crew ventured and found him and assisted him by shooting arrows and slitting other people's throats. On this, Rock was able to run back to the people that they rescued from the boulder fields, uh, passed out, woke up in a waterfront kind of fishing shack that's used as a hideout. There, heard rumors. Well, first, they're planned on what to do with the survivors, and Isos and his crew agreed to assist. Uh, as there is a chance of a very good distraction going on, as the rumor have it that the River Sly was roiling and boiling on the eastern side. Separating his ways, Rock went into the river, seeing the group of worshippers and buyers, whatever. Hey, baby. Observing the phenomenon. And rather than engaging with the individuals, Rock decided to jump in the water And when it proved unable to swim into the phenomenon, Misty stepped. Back on the ethereal, Davis and the menagerie had discovered that the bag of holding was not their bag of holding. It was, in fact, a bag of devouring that was swapped out by the hags as a nasty little ploy. Davis, frustrated with the situation, started slamming it into the barrier around the crystalline structure, shaking some fabric of reality, allowing the phenomenon that was occurring to rip, breaking the crystal, and rock fell through. And the menagerie gathered themselves, leaving as they heard a loud and not endless, but drawn out stampede above head. Emerging from the cavern, they saw all manner of similar but still strange inhabitants of the ethereal here between, including the phase spiders, the ethereal marauders, and a race of spider-like, bulbous, humanoid entities that they may have not seen before. But all of them were running away from what would be Greenham. Give me 1 second. We'll continue our session. So,
Alright, guys, while he's gone, we can discuss our plan, which we totally have.
Yeah, let's uh
I just mentioned something in Menagerie actually.
hey.
I don't know
Only
how the
problem is
heck
we don't know how to get to the other plane.
Yeah,
Crap,
that's.
stuck here.
I don't know how we would contact him, but we do have a bunch of friends on the outside in like Essos.
He's back. Shh!
So you all picked up that feat of hag slang, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
God no.
Guaranteed crit, you got it. I had to pick it.
all right. There, okay. I'm back, boys. Okay. So, Menagerie, you guys are. Sorry about that. Punchek probably knocked over a bunch of Anita stuff while I was sleeping. I didn't realize it because it's on the other side of the apartment.
Oh no.
Classic
Yeah.
Ponchik.
Yeah. So, anywho, what I forgot to say is that you guys have, traversed most of the way back to the Boulder Fields. You're about a mile out or so. And I did forget to mention the red mist with the cackling voice released from the crystals. But anyways, you are fairly, isolated and fairly quiet. There doesn't seem to be much going on around you in the ethereal now. Um, Making camp, making plans. It's far too early to go straight to bed, but you are able to take it easy and do whatever you'd like. So I leave it up to your hands.
Are we waking up or is this before all that?
This is an opportunity to give you guys some sort of fast role play or any ideas that you guys may have come up with. Again, I don't know what y'all did because I've avoided your channel. It's, you guys have figured out, that Davis needs to be restored. Yeah, exactly. We already technically Davis and Rock have already applied their healer's kit, so we don't have to worry about another charge. Like that's what all these notes are. But you guys have essentially more than half a day to kill and then to rest and everything before you would even be mechanically allowed to switch out things. So again, role play, or we can just fast sleep or whatever you guys want.
One quick question. Is the landscape, I'm assuming it's similar or mirrored of the material plane. Is it like a little hilly, trees here and there? Is it wide
So
open?
yeah, so over here, they're in the ethereal. There's not per se trees. They're more like represented by either like crystalline structures, rock formations, taking up the same space as you would imagine. It is relatively, smooth, rolling, like looks like sand, dirt material, but there are at times the rising mounds and hills and everything. It's not a one-to-one echo or reflection. It is a like a distorted interpretation. If you recall when you were in the Adventurers League hall, that when like Dregnar and Davis and them went back and forth, uh, it was like a spider's cavern. It was like a giant cavern that happened to follow like the same kind of structure outline. So, distorted image. Let's call it. There you go.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, it's always you are in an environment of fuchsias and purples and grays. It's kind of muted. It's not vibrant here, by all means. Not to say that there aren't moments where, like, when you look at the night sky, there isn't like a beautiful swirl of color or light, but just here, it's an alien for you guys. It's an alien landscape, and you can see the residents, people that live here.
Indians.
Yeah, like even their tokens, they seem to be primarily purples and blues and grays. Seems to be the natural palette here. So, alright, up to you guys. Just let me know.
I will say.
So,
Go ahead.
do you want me to roleplay out the Great Restoration, or do you want to go ahead with something real quick?
Again, you won't be able to do the Greater Restoration until the
tomorrow,
morning. I'm giving you guys the opportunity to do something this evening. Like if you guys
Oh.
decided you wanted to look at stuff, or you
My
guys
bad,
wanted
my
to
bad.
talk, or no, that's fine. And by all means, if you all agree, we just want to fast travel to quote unquote the morning, we can.
No, I just wanted to get that done as far as like the list of things that we had planned. But
Understood.
I do have to wait for that switching spells ridiculousness anyway. Almost forgot.
Can we fast travel to the other plane, please?
Right? We got a waypoint over there, so we should be able to just take it.
Yeah.
I mean,
My Hearthstone should be off cooldown now.
did you guys roll your new characters
Yeah,
right on the
exactly, yeah.
material? Like,
Of course.
His name is Shmavis Schmantrell.
okay.
He's a
And
half.
he's a
He's a half
schmork.
orc warlord. Yeah, he's a half
Yeah.
schmork warlord.
Yeah.
I got Galagretto.
Oh god.
Palagretto?
Or Galagretto is just Galagretto's sister.
Ah.
Yeah. I will say, as some time passes as you guys are kind of making camp and relaxing, Dregnar is keeping an eye out on the distance. And after a few hours, actually more than a few hours, trying to, y'all settle down, and he's gonna bring y'all's attention and kind of point and say, there's maybe a storm? Are there storms on this side? Do you guys know? Smart ones, people. He's pointing in the direction of the boulder field.
Yeah, smart
that'd
ones.
That'd be new to me.
I'll
Rock?
go up
I'm
and
not
take a look.
from here.
So if you make a check, you'll be advantaged because you've been stuck here for so long. But
So long.
but yeah, no. As he's like pointing it out, and I don't remember if the HUD is up. I mean, it doesn't matter because you can cast it ritually, so it doesn't use your spell slots. As you guys emerge from the hut and out, you kind of wash it, wave it away so you can step out. There is essentially over the boulder fields a gathering of what appears to be clouds. However, they seem to be more crimson and red in coloration, and it's like a giant T, so like a funnel is making its way down somewhere into the boulder fields as it like starts to stretch and twist out in the distance, and just this red, almost like T-shaped cloud covering up
Talking about
from
like,
here what looks like miles.
so it almost looks like a tornado. Is that what you're
Maybe the
describing?
beginning, yeah, sort of like a tornado.
And it's going into where we think the boulder fields are.
Looks like it.
And is it a similar hue of red to the mist that came out of the red crystals?
Most likely.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah. So yeah, and
Guys,
like in the distance, there's those strange. It looks like crackles of energy. However, not your standard like electric white discharges. Like all.
I just kind of just got here with you guys. Is that normal over there?
Hasn't happened yet. I think it might be related to when you came over. I don't know if you saw, but there's some red mist stuff that came out of that crystal thing that you came through. And it laughed as it came through like a hag, I think. So, not good.
And is that where the hags were, and is that where Wiggs is, and all that fun stuff?
Over there where that thing's going down, yeah, that's where the other hags are.
You might want to investigate.
I will say, and this is my apologies. Like the starting of this. It's not like a full T. It's like you just kind of like barely see like the swelling of something starting to very slowly. Do you like this or no? Later. Sorry, I didn't even notice that. Thank you.
Yeah, it's somewhere underneath that thing. That's where they were. That's where we're going back to eventually, I guess. Once we got a plan.
For Karen's resume, and then I'll do my leaves.
Can Summer roll me for Dragnar? Just roll me a survival check. And you guys can do whatever. Like, go ahead.
I believe that's
I
CJ
do
rolling.
like the
right?
idea of hey, hit it.
Oh, yeah, I'm rolling for Dragnar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he gets the natural 1 dice, which
Oh, he
turned
rolled
into an
natural.
18. It worked better.
I thought it was
I
18.
don't have a sheet up yet because I.
All right, 18 plus 6, so 24
Bad
total
player.
survival. Yeah, so as Dragnar is like, you see him, he's, his background, that maybe some of you are partially aware of and all that, having lived out in the wilderness for so long. Well, this isn't necessarily the wilderness per se. He's taking in what he's observing, and he says, he's like, doesn't smell like rain or anything. I don't like it. Should we go check it out before we make any plans? And we don't have to go to the fields, but do we want to know what might be waiting for us?
I mean, they might be waiting for us to go check it out too, right?
They're waiting for us either way you look at it, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. I mean, they're expecting us back at some point. So
Maybe.
The question is, would whatever is happening be worse than just going back? I agree that we need some sort of idea of what we are planning to do should we return.
So, out of character, there's like a storm brewing kind of thing. Is that what you're describing over the boulder fields?
Yeah, so in the mile or so out, when you look towards the boulder fields, there's almost like a gathering that would look like a storm cloud, except it is of that red crimson color. And it is, you see like the flashes of lightning and everything amongst the cloud. And then towards like at the bottom of what would be like the top of a T, right? There starts to be the swelling, and it looks like it's going to start funneling down, but it is going incredibly slow. Like you're talking, it might take hours, if not longer, for it to maybe touch down if this was a natural storm. It's very odd. It's like extreme slow motion almost.
We can examine it without getting too close, without getting caught. I think it's worth the investigation. That's important, but we're not in proper shape to engage. If anything happens, we have to run. Right?
yeah.
Well, here's what I'm thinking if I were to be rude to interrupt. Whatever just happened when we just released that thing, we know that aided them, and this storm is new. This might be a product of what we have done. Maybe this is something we should not return to, but I guess it's due for us to Inspect it before we do, at the least. Best not to get ourselves killed.
So, those of you who want to go, how are you going to inspect this other than just looking at it? Or is that it?
Dragon's. Yeah, go ahead.
I do have goggles of. Let's see what the thing actually says.
Goggles of Stormcraft.
The eyes of the eagle.
Yes.
They help me see things better in conditions of clear visibility. That's going to be the biggest question. I can make out details, even extremely distant creatures and objects as small as 2 feet across. Not necessarily to look closer at the storm, although if there was any extra details that could be helpful, but mainly to see if this is a combination of what we did and if the hags are performing some sort of deviant ritual or something that could possibly keep them distracted. Mayhaps we sneak in, rescue the two, and sneak out without
I have a
engaging.
follow-up question. Do those things allow you to see through boulders?
Through boulders, no. But
So
if
you're
we
gonna
could get higher up on a hill or maybe some
that
other.
might get you noticed. And
Dragnar,
I think we're trying to not do that.
True.
we got some of us here that are light of foot, right? We can pull the
I mean,
shadows around us.
Last time we touched those rocks, we got put into
We've-
cages.
We avoid the rocks. We just see.
I may have a solution.
Okay.
If I have sufficient supplies, perhaps I can see what Wiggs sees.
So I have a follow-up question to that too. Do you have sufficient supplies?
Yeah. What are you thinking of?
Yeah, I'm assuming this is like a spell component that you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
theoretically, rock
quite
has
expensive.
the wild card for all material components, but no, that's only if they're consumed.
Consumed.
Right. Never mind.
If you're thinking about scrying, you don't have a focus worth 1,000 GP.
I know, but I have a patch for a silver mirror.
Do you?
Oh, I totally forgot, guys. Hey, if you want to spy on them, I can cast that eye spell that I cast before that's totally useless in the Necromancer Tower.
You
You
did
have
it in
that
town,
right.
didn't you?
However,
I mean, it
Or
got
maybe
us in
did
trouble
both.
in town, didn't it?
I don't remember. I
Isn't
just
that when
remember
we-
there was a giant attack right after that.
Yeah, that was.
You muttered and made sounds. That's why.
Yeah,
also Marv has my other mirror.
If we want, I can cast spell and send it on and spy on it. Since I don't have Pebble, I've got magic eye pebble.
That I like. Because
See,
we could
I
stay
like-
here, right?
I've not tested how far I can see with it, but I know it lasts about an hour.
You know the spell inside and out, so you know that you can send it very far.
Yeah, it's just RPG.
You know, I get you.
Rock style.
Sometimes I know. Sometimes I have to remember.
Oh wow, literally there is no limit. Holy shit. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that. I thought it was like up to a mile or something, but damn.
You just go, but I mean, it's got to be able to travel there within an hour.
Right.
Him and his familiar are kindred spirits like that, I guess.
I mean, theoretically, the familiar, it's only, what, 500 feet, I think? That you can actually do the see-through?
Well, it's a few hundred feet for communication, yeah. See through and then like communication. It's not that far. Yeah, it doesn't say how fast the eye travels, but we would just assume at a regular rate of 30 feet. As an action, the eye can move up to 30 feet. So it moves at 30 feet.
Yeah.
As an action, you can move at 30 feet.
Yeah.
Is
So
its speed?
that's a mile out, moving at 30 feet. You might want to get a little bit closer, but yeah, that's a good solution. For sure.
As long as we don't see any boulders, yeah, we can help move closer.
I just unfortunately I can only see, so I can tell you where everybody's going, but I won't be able to listen to them.
Is there a sign where we can knock you out of it if anything happens?
Yeah, it's the same as with Pebble. You know, just give me a
Okay,
shake,
cool.
yell at me, pinch me,
Perfect.
splash me a cup of water, step on my foot,
Tickle you.
kick me in the shins.
Tickle it is.
Tickle.
Tickle, tickle, tickle.
I can
Death by
record.
tickle.
Sarge, do you have anything that can join? Both of us can watch, or you're missing materials?
Be awesome if you had something that can listen. Oops, sorry. Sorry. I was saying it as like Dragnar, but I didn't actually say it. Sorry.
Did you lose Sarge? Sarge! I walk up to Sarge and pull on his trunk real hard to see if I can get his attention.
Why, yada?
Yeah, you pull on this trunk and it like rolls up like a it smacks him in the face. Maybe Donnie DC'd or is
Nope, I'm
speaker
doing it.
now?
I'm sorry. I got turbo distracted by something that came up, but I dealt with it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
What did I miss? I apologize again.
Uh,
I was
it's
Well, because
saying
that's your question. We're not gonna repeat it.
Oh, more than okay. Are we relying on scrying? Is that what I'm doing?
yeah, I can send an eye in, and I was just saying if there's any way you can join me, and the two of us can get information together, if you are able to.
I could join you if I scried onto it, actually.
And if I send an eye, can he sky on an eye that he saw me make? Because then he knows the thing.
so here's the thing. So keep in mind. So one, unfortunately, just knowing the spell scrying, I know Sedge currently doesn't have a component that he needs for it. It's
I do.
far too expensive.
I do though. I do.
No, your mirror is not worth
Yeah,
1,000
it's a
gold.
silver mirror, not a steel mirror.
Oh,
And yours is a steel
sorry.
mirror. So that's why I was
I thought I had
trying
silver
to.
mirror. My bad.
No, yeah, you're fine. So no, he could, and also the way that scrying works is you scry on the thing, and your focus is the thing. You can't necessarily like see. You might be able to pick up things in the periphery of the scry, but you are focusing in on a
Creature.
like you would be on the eye of the creature. Technically, you can't do the eye because it's not a creature; it's a manifestation of magic. But let's say you did. Let's say you did wigs. You're basically be like bird's eye view looking at wigs, and you might be able to catch what's around him, but your focus would be super blurry around him.
Okay.
Yeah. The
Huh.
the magic anchors itself to the entity or the location.
Okay. Thank you.
Don't get me wrong, it's an amazing spell. It's just,
I just interpreted it very wrong and didn't have what I thought I had.
oh, you're golden.
Why do they make so many mirrors?
Oh. So yeah, that works. I mean, yeah. I mean, unfortunately, the eye will work. The scrying, unfortunately, as said, comes to realize he's missing what he needs.
Yeah, I'm missing a bit too much to complete it at this time, and that's okay.
Okay, then Rock. What, can you do it from here? We need to get closer. What are we doing?
We need to get closer, for
Alright.
sure. I'd like more time spying on them and less time getting to them.
Oh,
If we
okay.
see any boulders, we're turning back. We're not going past. I don't trust the boulders.
Yeah.
After what happened to get us here, screw that. No.
Yeah, we're definitely not even getting within vision of anything that could even be patrolling it. So
Yeah, what was that like? On my end, the boulders like lifted up and shook, and then all of a sudden, just everyone was gone.
I mean, we all
Except for me.
blacked out, or at least I blacked out.
No.
Oh.
Same here. I woke up. I lost everything. Shit sucked.
Okay, so not a recommended trip then.
No.
Marvel said it's
Wait,
like
how?
getting punched in the back of the head.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, guys.
yeah. I do kind
Wait,
of
Rock.
remember something.
How long have you been separate from us?
Almost like a day. Not even
Hey,
a full
Rock.
day.
A bit of advice. The giant hag Amy that we're getting information for right now over at the Boulder Field. She is very witty. Be careful.
She's very proud
She's
too.
definitely astute enough to see through any guise that you try to put on.
Okay.
She also seems
I mean,
pretty confident, I would say.
if she sees the eye that I'm casting, I don't think she can hurt me through it. She might be able to like dismiss it.
Wait, she could see it?
It
I don't know,
depends
maybe.
on the creature, but it can be seen by some.
Pretty,
I didn't see
it's,
it when you did it
it's
before,
invisible. Yeah, it's invisible, but I don't know. I mean, Marv sees
though. Oh,
invisible,
right. Okay, I got you.
right? So maybe she can too. It's small, it's tiny. I don't know if that's something you'd be looking out for.
I wouldn't put it past Amy to pick up something magical and invisible at the same time, though. That's why I'm giving you a warning. And if she does find out, she may not be able to hurt you, but that's still dangerous.
Okay, if I feel like it's spotted, I'll send it off in a direction away from us, so that she follows it. It won't
Yeah, I
be
like
towards
that.
us.
I like that. I like that. Make sure when you get to the camp, you approach from a different direction as well.
Yeah. You're right. I should
Circle it.
circle around, like come in the
Yeah.
side or something. Unless she follows. Yeah, I don't know how magic trails work, but we've seen how magic trails work. I know you and me, the headaches in the swamp. So
Oof.
I wonder if they can see magic like that. I hope she always has a headache.
You deserve
Maybe
it.
that's
Maybe
why.
we give her one.
Good man.
Yeah, she will. She will when we're done with her.
Just remember, we're not. If push comes to shove, we're bailing. We're not fighting.
I don't think there's anyone. Well, okay, there's Wiggs. And, what if they threaten to kill Wiggs?
We'll make that call if that happens, I guess. But that would be about the only thing that could change my mind, at least.
I think if Wiggs
I mean, or
and
Hava,
Hava
obviously.
die, we may be stuck here forever, and that doesn't seem like a fun time. We don't. Anything to eat on this plane?
I can always make 1 minute trips to the other to the other side for a couple times a day.
There's a glimmer of
Just
hope.
put together
I
a little
appreciate
grocery
that.
list. I'll head over there, get some stuff, bring it back. It's all good.
Well, we could put it in my bag of holding, the new bag of holding, and then
Oh,
put our
that
poop off.
thing. No.
Please remember, please don't open that.
Yes, definitely. Well, at least don't put your hand in there. Don't put anything. Just don't. What?
Maybe we can give it to the hags. No, they know about it. They gifted it to us.
Yeah. How about we
I pull out the bag and I
ahead.
ask it, would you like to eat some hags? The smile at me or anything?
It's got it. Just you pull it out. You guys see Rock kind of pull out.
Very
Again,
tense.
it looks like a bag of holding. It looks at it, with the detailed stitching of like the smiling, subtle, pleasant face. Never changes.
Okay, random spitball here. Is there any like trickery stuff we could do that might make that get the hags?
That in character?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm out of tricks.
Like, could we? I
I
don't
think they
see
know
it.
my tricks.
I don't trust him. I felt like his sister was able to see through my disguise. That's honestly, it has me a little confident. I feel like I know they're better than I am at magic. At least the giant hag, at least Amy.
They definitely seem formidable. Perhaps if one were to diverge from the group.
Yeah. Well, again,
If we can
we're
pull it off.
looking, right? Right? Just looking.
Yes.
Correct.
Today, whatever a
Lucky.
day is in this plane, there is no fighting today. We just run, we survive, we fight another day.
Just lucky. Unless there's people being hurt, then we save the people.
Even then, I don't know.
I mean,
We're not
yeah,
we're not 100% right now.
Well,
And
again,
you're
we'll deal with that when it comes to that. But yeah, we need to be more patient.
we do. I don't want to. Remember in the tower we fought 2 hags. I don't know how we all survived. To be honest, I know I had a bad time. Slept for like 24 hours after that. Shit.
Yeah.
I'm sitting by them, and I take out a couple leaves from my pocket, and I start grinding them in like a turnstile, like a mortar and pestle.
Sure. Okay.
At the minute, my current trick is being occupied. I'm a one-trick type of Loxodon. Currently, I'm just focused on getting us to 100%. Needless to say, whatever comes next, it's not up to me.
All right. Let's
Yeah.
get closer then.
Yeah. Dregnar will say, stay close, and he'll go ahead and pull the shadows towards him. Very familiar to all of y'all at this point.
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and pass without a trace for you guys, should you need it at some point.
Stay slow. Stay cautious. Let's go.
Al's like, I don't need it, but I'll take it.
I got that 40 that one time. That was kind of
Fucking
fun. I'll
40.
take it again.
Okay.
One thing to consider. I know it is not our aim to fight this theory, but we should take into consideration that these beings may have abilities that we have not seen yet. Maybe that we cannot escape from them. If that becomes the case, what do we do?
Sej is kind of along the lines of thinking in the back of his head. He hasn't said it out loud yet, but he's not trying to get away from the hags as much as if there is an opportunity to get Amy where she stands with the rest of the hags, he kind of wants to take it. If an opportunity is there. If the opportunity is gone and whatever we released is not, you know, conducive to victory as it would seem, I guess, if we look at it, then he's not up to fighting yet. So I'm kind of up to fighting. Sej is at least.
Oh, shit.
I mean, there's a chance they won't kill us, right? Like they have wigs and like they seem to like us. They seem to want to keep people with certain skills around. So
I
So,
mean,
Rock, I feel like the reason they let us live was to take care of. So we slayed a beast. You saw the chitin. There's a product of that hound, that beast. Then we shattered the crystal. I think that's all they wanted out of us. I don't know if we have any more use aside from being in their way. I'm worried about that personally. Davis, were you saying? You have
but
an
you
idea?
did succeed at their task. So I
I
mean,
think
you've
that puts us in a.
proven to be useful.
I
I
mean, they
think we
couldn't
just
kill
added
it,
fuel
but
to
we
the
were able to
fire.
kill it. I think that puts them uneasy. I don't. They might be scared of us, but they've got so many tricks. I think every hag up to this point has tricked us. I'm kind
yeah,
of tired of it, to be honest.
we're in their home. Like they've got all the advantages. They know the land. They know where everything is. They can set traps. They can do all these things. We
Still
have
don't know how to get out.
so much going against us.
They do seem quite formidable. I'll give you that.
Yeah, we haven't even
But
really seen
let
what the
me
other two
remind
small ones
you.
can do. Like they've just been
True.
goofy and weird, but presumably since they are also hag sisters, they would be similarly powerful.
They
So
have to put up with Marvel say they have to put up with one another, right?
yeah, and
So
presumably if one of them was like so weak, they'd probably just get rid of one, right? Like I assume that they each have their role to play in whatever they're trying to accomplish. So again, I assume that they're all pretty, as you guys keep saying, formidable opponents.
Damn it. If the other two can keep up with Amy, we have
Yeah,
to stay on
either
the
one of
cautious
them
side.
should
This
be able
is
to, right? Like that's the whole idea. Is they're
yeah.
probably all about the same level of strength, or at least they
I mean,
complement each other in ways they're just as strong.
Yeah,
Need,
yeah.
need me to remind you, in the eyes of the cosmos, we're all small, but all we are dealing with here are just very strong parasites. That's all these hags are.
Oh, believe me, I think we could easily. I mean, we've taken 2 out at the same time. So,
At the same time.
but we
And
were
we're
at full
dealing with 3 at
strength.
the
We
same
had
time, right?
we were in a setup where we controlled things better and had means to make things happen. Whereas here, that's not the case.
They've got every advantage. They've got every
Paris.
card. Damn it.
Oh,
Hmm.
Dragnar will pipe up as you guys are. I'm assuming this is a walk and talk kind of
Yeah,
session.
yeah, yeah.
But they still have to deal with that, whatever that is, and he's just pointing to that storm. So-
Hopefully, we don't have to deal with that. Yeah, if they have to deal with it, if that's something that's bad for them, sure, that's great.
well,
I
even
think
if
we
it's,
wanted you to let it out.
but even if
So
it's, well, like you guys said, someone mentioned it. They might be distracted by it. Maybe they're using that, and that's a distraction. Someone said something
a
about a
Yeah, yeah.
ritual, and
Time ritual.
I've seen you, Rock, and I've seen you, Al. When you guys are focusing,
Yeah,
you
we
know,
sometimes we'll like pull little pranks on you. You guys don't even know. Oh wait, I shouldn't have said that.
Wait, what?
Nothing.
Dragnar just glares at you, David's like,
Kind of side
prank
eyeing
them.
Davis like,
Yeah, I
huh?
mean, Dragnar, you meditate all the time. Don't think you're getting away from this. As Scott Freeze, you might think you're getting away from this.
You haven't done anything yet.
That
They
you've
just kind of
noticed.
start, yeah, they just start like check it, like. But yeah, you guys, how far you guys want to get? Quarter mile, half a mile,
When we
like how far
started,
away?
when we started, we were 1 mile away, right?
Roughly, yeah. Eyeballing it.
That's gonna be. I might be overcautious, but a half mile. Start there and see if Rock can figure out anything. Anybody else?
I would prefer to get a little closer than that. Half mile's still pretty far.
If we proceed past a half mile, Al would focus on like staring at everything, perceiving around him very cautiously, and then maybe
Sure.
half listening.
Okay. Are you guys gonna start traveling slow once you get within the half mile?
Yeah, we're sneaky.
Okay, go ahead and give me stealth checks
Easy
with
does.
the +10 because of pass without a trace.
Huzzah!
Okay.
I've got a real dice now.
Nice.
Oh.
Rock is 25.
Okay. Okay.
27.
For Dragnar?
Dragons.
Nice.
25 Rock, 27 Dragnar.
Okay. Sej, stealth,
You mean
please.
yeah,
+10 on top of that. Okay.
yeah, 24.
So 24. And then Karos.
Bow, bow,
Oh,
bow.
Whoa!
Okay. Yeah.
Where'd
What's
above
that?
cat go?
What is? Geez, like the average of the group is like a 30, I think, with all that. 33, 29. Yeah, it's up. It's up there. It's hot. Okay, cool. Um, yeah. Seemingly, the shadows are aiding y'all as you step silently, using what natural terrain there is here, keeping an eye out. Al, you were mentioning perception, so go ahead and give me perception checks, keeping an eye out for anything that might be noticing you guys. But you are able fairly confidently to get as close as you guys wish. Like you're getting used to working together, and with Dragnar kind of leading the way, stepping through, guiding the group essentially. Yeah, it's you guys feel very confident. Al, looking around, the storm is still there. Probably the base of it has kind of bowled down a little bit more. It seems like it's active. Getting this close, you can make out some details of the boulder fields. You just see the stones. Uh, you don't smell or see any signs of like precipitation. Mm, really, nothing seems to be looking at you guys. It's pretty vacant. Like you do see different tracks of things that would have passed by that were seemingly fleeting the center of Green Hill, and then you do see some that kind of turned toward this direction that you ended up kind of following as a group, but then they seem to run away from the boulder field as well. So, yeah, it seems pretty
Okay.
isolated out here.
So we say while walking from the crystal to this point, we had noticed like wildlife to an extent, kind of making noises. But it's been pretty quiet the last
Yeah,
half mile or so.
when you went from Boulder Field to Canyon, there was that like all the
Oh
little
yeah.
sounds and all that. When you guys, when rock appeared and the crystal was smashed, shortly after you heard like the sounds of like stampedes up top, and you saw the marauders, the face spiders, the ether caps, all of them were running away.
So
So
once we
Alright,
got
I
to the
see it.
top of the ravine,
Hmm.
oh Jones.
yeah, Jones is being Jones. Whoop.
Uh, so once we got to the top of the ravine,
Ew.
it was quieter than usual.
No.
Yeah, so when you got on the top of the ravine, you saw like God, I can't say it today. The inhabitants of the ethereal that would be running away. Yes, thank you. Yeah,
Boom. Thank you.
denizens. Thank you, denizens. Boom. Running away from the source. That would be Green Hill. Um, so, and then some of them did branch and start heading towards the boulder fields based off tracks and what you could see, but then it looks like they didn't get too close and they continued running away.
What's your first week?
They broke off to another direction. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I would
So yeah, you guys are free and comfortable to get as as close as possible. Our rock, you are the one that's casting the spell, so I guess you get to make the decision essentially.
Yeah, we were a quarter mile-ish out, maybe just a little above it.
I'll just
Um,
keep scanning with the goggles just to see if
Okay.
any. I know that you had mentioned previously that there was fog and stuff like that, but anytime it like parts to where we can get a good
Mhm.
look, I
Yeah,
just
thank
keep
you.
my
Yeah, a visual that I hadn't mentioned yet. The ever-present aurora like fog is still down here. Um, Again, keeping like good visibility, ground level out to about 60 to 100 feet. But once you kind of look above, like you can kind of see further. It's rather low lying right now. Carlos, because of your stature and you're getting close, you can actually see the boulder fields. There doesn't seem to be with your goggles. There doesn't seem to be much activity. Just going off your passive perception plus your goggles and all that giving you advantage. Like your passive is already like 23 or something like that. They No visual cues of anything seem to really be going on. You do spot that after a while, kind of looking at it, that some of the boulders they have like smears on them and splotches. And as you're kind of focusing it in, as now you're not traveling and able to just kind of focus, it looks like there was something like possibly some of those things that ran away tried to get to the boulder fields and they were repelled and they are dead things
ladder.
amongst. Yeah. So, yeah.
I'll let everybody know what I saw, which
Mhm.
wasn't much.
Not too much, but you saw that.
When we hit a nice little place where we can
Mhm.
like where I can kind of just like have some
Mhm.
shelter to cast
Mhm.
my spell and
Mhm.
everyone else keep watch and good vantage point, then I'll cast my Arcana.
Okay, yeah. Uh,
when Is that a ritual or a instant?
Instant.
Okay. Once you cast it, I'll start ritual casting another tiny hut.
Go ahead and mark off your 4th level spell slot, Rock. And I don't actually remember what your description on the eye looked like. Do you have one for it? As you conjure it into existence
It's invisible
before it
out of
goes
trick
invisible.
question.
No, I mean like it could still like
I'm kidding.
for
I'm kidding.
and then it kind of fades after it travels for a moment.
Yeah. So you see me rummaging my little pouch of. I still have my pouch of stuff, right?
Your component pouch? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I would
You
never
may-
take it.
You would never
Yeah,
take
you
it.
never. Yeah.
But I
Unless you
don't have
took it
too
off
many-
to swim.
I would have, but I would have put it
Shit.
back on. Although I never did say I got over the water and got pissed. Stuff was stolen.
You never said you took your stuff off, so.
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I got naked and went for a swim. Remember?
yeah, but that was at the.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I don't think the peasants would have robbed the person who saved them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I pull a little bit of fur. You know, if any of you recognize it, it just looks like a little bit of fur. And I take the fur in my hand, hold it to the tip of the staff. I'm just muttering and waving it around, and then I thrust the staff forward, and the fur flies into the air, disappears, and there's a loud. And that's it. You don't see anything else.
Okay. Cool. All right.
And then
well,
I'll tap Davis and be like, "Hey, I'm doing the thing, guy,"
Gotcha.
and off I go.
All right. So as you look peer through the eyes, concentrating, the eye, not eyes. Wow, I'm not able to pull up your character sheet. Things keep
Ooh.
roll 20 keeps giving me a natural one.
What are you looking for?
Okay. I just seeing the details on the spell. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, I can paste it.
I mean, like I know most of the details on it. I know it can squeeze through like teeny tiny things, like an inch across, yada yada. It's invisible. It's good stuff. Thank you. Alright.
Dang it! You win every time.
Oh.
So
Three for three.
Rock, it takes you a little while of focusing. The group is, making Al is able to get his hut up in the meantime. Davis, all you're kind of keeping an eye out. As you do start approaching Rock, it's quiet. It's eerily quiet because you can't hear through the eye. But the boulders are there. As the eye tilts up, you see the red storm cloud. Where's the eye going? What are you doing?
So we're, for argument's sake, we'll say we're technically north of the storm.
Sure.
Okay, so I'll circle around to the east
Okay.
and come in from the east side.
Okay, so we can kind of zoom out on the map. So like down here. All right, let me do shift ping so I can actually move y'all's camera. Like you're saying down here on the east.
I mean, I didn't see a ping or anything, but yeah.
Oh, didn't actually move you? Oh, okay.
It did,
It's
if you
supposed to
made
move. Yeah.
Oh, I was moving it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That would be good. Come in from there.
Okay. So all the boulders are up currently, but it's not perfect. There are gaps. There are flaws in it, and slides right in. Are you trying to get more in the corridor where you guys were hell, or actually you don't know? Sorry.
I don't know, so I'm just exploring at this point.
Exploring. Okay. Let's say you went from the east into the east, so you emerge somewhere. When you pop through the boulders, you see that pinnacle boulder that goes higher than all the others, where, if you recall, Pebble interrupted the sermon. And looks very different. There's no pillows, there's no tapestries, there's no banners, but there are glyphs and circles and arcane markings around. As the eye is kind of taking it in, this is the first time you're seeing this area. Actually, here where it is, there would be piles of dead ogres. Many of them charred. I just don't have them on the map because I removed them. But yeah, like seemingly where your fireball went. Yeah, it did its duty, and then their corpses got shunted over here. On the way up here, I should mention that, yeah, was similar to what Karo said. You did see that phase spiders and marauders were trying to possibly get inside the boulder field. You're not completely sure, but they have been blasted down. There would have been blood splats and corpses on the exterior of the boulder field. And then in the inside, there's the ogres, dead for days at this point, charred, singed. There's cages. There is essentially what you see is kind of what's being represented, but whatever you'd like to do, let me know. Like, where would you focus? Would you focus up? You just say cardinal directions and all.
Yeah. Hi, Angie. If you can hear us,
Hey, Angie.
welcome. Yeah. So so from that pinnacle, is there anything in any direction I can scan all directions? Do I see anything of interest at all in any direction?
So it is interesting because the eye lets you see, but there is still that fog, and the eye is having to deal with the limited radius provided by it. As it does drift, let's say you do head south first. It seems barren. It seems left alone. There are cages. There are strange braziers that are not necessarily lit with fire, but lit with some sort of illuminated. You don't recognize it per se as fire, so there is some light being given off. Every once in a while, when you look up, the storm is still there. It is still crackling, but there is no rain coming down. Scanning through, kind of heading more south into the, you know, west. More of the same. More boulders, more pens. You're able to pop the eye in and out, weaving through. You see cages. However, almost everything here at this point is neglected and abandoned. There isn't much here. Given it some time, you do manage to kind of go sweep through, and then you start returning back to the pinnacle rock. And then as you're starting to go up, you do see something start to catch your sight. And so you're kind of like in this area, kind of looking up here. You see the three sisters, the hags. You see on this side where there was the tent on the narrowscape, here on the ethereal, there is a cauldron. There are, again, multiple glyphs and that are around in different types of arcane circles, of various degrees of complexity, lighting up, flashing. Amy has your favorite person strapped into a cage on her waist. You see a cage with wigs in it. Hava is not to be seen currently.
Guys, I see them. They're around the cauldron. She's got wigs in a cage. They're definitely all there. Yeah,
Good to
that
know.
is too much.
Actually, I will do this real quick. I'll kind of help you. I'll just put a random token so you can kind of see the eye. I have we'll just drop this. Drop a tome. It seems fitting. Just gonna help you guess where the eye is. So the eye is like roughly around here or so. It's kind of floating around. That is your eyeball. So, yeah, you see
what are
that
they doing?
yeah. Rock, as you kind of hear Davis peer the question, they seem to be busy. It's hard to tell. They, like I mentioned, Wiggs is still strapped in a cage along Amy's waist. The Bone Hag and the Harvest Hag, as you see, are moving around the cauldron, gathering supplies from different cages, different piles, and just dropping them into the cauldron. You see that they look up from time to time. Unfortunately, again, you have no auditory from the eye.
Guys, they might be making lunch or testing a spell. They're definitely doing something with the cauldron. Can I have the eye fly to Wiggs?
Yeah, sure.
Does he notice it?
Wiggs is up. Wiggs is up in the up on our waist, so he's about 10, maybe not quite 10 feet up, but he is about 5 feet or so up in the air. What are you asking?
Just gonna circle the, just have it float around the cage, and then like stop, hover right in front of his face. I know it's invisible.
Yeah.
And just hover there, and
Okay.
like wiggle back and forth.
No recognition from Wiggs whatsoever. He's just strapped in his cage, looking beat up, not like terribly shit, but still not in the great condition as you guys saw him previously.
Okay.
As she moves, he's not secured, so he jostles in the cage whenever she's moving around.
Okay, move it to the cauldron. Get a nice close-up look of what they're. See if I can recognize stuff to throw in to see if it's lunch or a spell. Or...
Sure. You can give me as you're getting close and you're kind of observing. You can give me an investigation check.
12.
12. Hard to tell right at this point. The cauldron is active. Like the strange. Again, it's like off-colored fire is underneath it. You can see that there is some sort of steam or mist or something coming out of the cauldron as it is bubbling. It's a large cauldron. Like the image on the map isn't necessarily accurate. It's probably more, larger than this. It probably is. Honestly, if it was like by squares, it's probably a 2 by 2 square. So it's a fairly large cauldron. So imagine like all that extra circle around it is still cauldron. They seem to be like, as you're kind of looking at the hags, they seem to be kind of like almost like jovial in a sense, like not skipping per se, but happily going and gathering, running, rummaging through piles and cages and other things, and just dropping things in. And they seem to be chanting because you can see their mouths are moving and they're making gestures with their hands and everything. But hard to tell.
I don't think it's breakfast. Also, they're really happy. Whatever you guys did for that night, that made them very, very happy. Bad, you guys.
Like smiling happy?
I don't know
how-
that we
yeah.
did do it. Like, you
Just-
showed up right. Whatever. Just keep watching.
How this is important. How happy are they?
How happy are they, Adam? Can I tell?
Sure. Insight check at disadvantage because you can't hear anything.
Damn it, they could be singing for all we know.
Oh, I rolled a 5 and a 5, so
Great.
insight at 10 total.
It's very hard to read. They're moving like their movements are not just as fluid and everything. Sometimes there's like those jagged jerk movements where they accelerate in speed and decelerate. They get out of line of sight from time to time as you're trying to keeping an eye out because they are rummaging through again places. Sometimes they go into this set of boulders over to the other side to gather things. They are dropping various things inside the cauldron. It's very hard to tell. Like, unfortunately, it's simple as that. You can't tell how happy or why they're happy or if they even are happy, but they just seem, from your sense, to either be dancing because they're happy or dancing because it's part of the ritual. It's kind of hard to tell.
They are definitely not. We've taken over the world happy.
Yeah.
But they might be. I had a good sleep happy.
But it seems
Yeah, okay.
like the red
I'll take it.
cloud's not a bad thing, I guess. Like, they're not
They,
checking that out and worried
no,
about it.
they're definitely doing a ritual, summoning, doing something with the cauldron, which can't be good. Where is Hava? Where was Hava like they're all around the cauldron? You guys said you saw Wiggs and Hava. I don't see her. Where's
So, like, where we were fighting from on the, I guess, west side, opposite that cauldron side. Like, so go away from that side to the other side of the cauldron.
Every time we investigated the boulder fields, both times, we never went over there. There's like another sector over,
Yeah.
another prison.
as I'm listening, I'm gonna have the eye follow the one that is appearing.
So yeah, as you're having this discussion, you see that Amy starts to kind of go away to it, and then yeah, as there is a a removed boulder. It's easy enough. The eye doesn't need to squeeze. At one point, Amy kind of stops. You just see her kind of stop and kind of look around, look down.
The eye freezes and doesn't move.
Yeah, she
Like-
continues
like-
kind of approaching the cage, and you see as she kind of moves her hand towards the cage, the bars just kind of bend out of the way, and she scoops out a blue-skinned individual, and just kind of, not even keeping her in a cage at this point, just kind of slings her over her shoulder and just starts walking back.
Hi there. She's being taken to the. Oh God, I hope they don't cook them. This could be bad. This could be really bad. I move the eye to have on just wiggle it in front of her face. Any action?
Kind of see Amy and Wiggs, and that they do bring Hava over. Rather than going to the cauldron at this time, they start to move down south over to the Pinnacle Rock. Easy enough for Amy. She just kind of places Hava, seemingly unconscious or too weak to really do anything, at the top of the rock.
Guys, I think we should have us on the big pile of rocks with the pillows where Pebble did the thing. Yeah, have us on there, and she's not looking good. This can't be good. Like,
I mean, she didn't look good when we saw her. I don't think they're exactly like feeding them the best food or getting them a lot of rest.
I mean, they could be preparing a sacrifice. She could be a body for the pink thing to take over. They could be preparing to cook them. Like, we should do something. If we ever want to
This
get off
does
this
not-
plane, we got to do something.
This doesn't sound good.
The south side of the boulder fields is completely empty. We might be able to sneak around and grab her. She's completely unprotected right now.
I mean, right now, but we're still a quarter mile away.
Well, Dragonar's fast.
You just not. I am fast,
Yeah.
but
Marb's kind of fast too.
Yeah.
Those little bird legs.
Right?
But-
Like, we might be able to save one of them right now before something bad happens. That could be a chance.
I mean, not to. Listen, I mean, I want to save them both, but frankly, if we can't save Wiggs, then there's not much point in saving either of them.
I disagree.
um,
Those are our friends. Release
someone
them.
roll for Marb for me real quick.
Yeah, I got you.
Just roll me a d20.
Sure. An 8.
8. Okay. Okay. Marb's quiet right now. He's just listening to
Okay.
what you guys are saying.
We could make a distraction, be real noisy, and then immediately run away and come look up here, so we'll grab her.
I mean, we don't know what they're doing. Maybe
Yeah,
they
but
do,
by
we
the
don't
time
know that
this
they don't do
begins-
this every day.
Okay, but what if it's
Let me remind you that a distraction doesn't have to be so flashy. Let me remind you also, they don't know that we're not dead. We could come back, and we don't have to be so immediately combative. They're waiting for us still, I think.
I mean, they did send us off with a thing that very well could have just killed us, so.
Can I
They
have the
very
eyes?
well could kill us now that we completed their mission. We don't know.
Yeah, what's the good news in that? I don't. What?
Yeah, that's one of the 12 things I'm worried about is that they think we're dead and then have no more use for us.
I don't care too much about being fodder to their flame,
Could you,
but I'm ready to do anything. Wiggs and Hava. Both of them should be saved, if we can.
If we can.
And
if we can.
what's more important is that it seems that they might be in danger of being the same fodder to that same fire. And we're gonna have to deal with that fire at some point, I'm thinking.
Someone was about to say something as well. Sorry.
Can you make sure the eye stays with Hava? I just want to.
With Hava? Sure.
Yeah, as soon as you put it on the rock, I'm just trying to see what's.
Sure. So at one point, as you're like kind of shifting your focus in and out, thank you for Dragon's roll. How you will see that the hags are the two, like the bone hag and the harvest hag, from time to time are coming back into view on the stone, with pots and ladle and stuff like that, and they are going to some of these glyphs, and they are just like sipping whatever they have been carrying just to make sure, and then like pouring it around the glyphs and the sigils and everything, and they seem to be doing some sort of something, but they don't seem to be approaching the big pinnacle rock.
You all seem fairly familiar with this rock he's describing. What do you know about it? What was done?
Yeah, some really annoying lady was just preaching from it when we first saw it, and there's like a big crowd around her, but like that's all we. I don't. We didn't really get to see it up close. I saw it on this side, and it didn't. I don't think it really struck me.
That lady was doing some kind of intoxicating grandstanding. Whatever, it was annoying.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So
I mean,
I'm
it
gonna
could be
make,
special. It could just be like it's a nice central high point within this thing that they just set up. I don't know.
I don't know how we're gonna get anything to the wigs if he's attached to the Amy, I guess. You can still say Amy. The giant peg. The other two are at the rock now, so we wouldn't have had time. I don't want to be watching our friends get killed while we just sit here and talk.
about one of the last things that you'll see, CJ, before you start feeling the connection with your eye, the tether starts to snap and break as it's the duration. Uh, Amy is carrying that cauldron and placing it amongst the glyphs and the circles around the pinnacle rock. And as she does place it down, the sisters all three kind of gather around it, are doing some sort of hand motions, and then just start kind of like chanting up, and then this mist begins to just kind of pour out, and then just start to like encompass the rock, encompass the glyphs, and it seems to be, from what the eye can see as it is inside there, it just becomes just very difficult to see outside of this like gray, multicolored, but like it's multicolored, but it is like on the gray dull spectrum. Mesa just seems to encompass essentially the entire pinnacle rock and the glyphs themselves, and the hags are inside of it as well. You feel like
I'll describe that exactly to everyone, and I'll be like, guys, it's too late. They're doing some sort of ritual. They're turning Hava into a hag, or they're using a body. They're doing something real bad. Did I see before the eye disappears? Did I see his wig still attached to?
oh yeah, yeah. Wigs is Amy's prize. Yeah.
Is
so
he
yeah.
like struggling or looking sad and dejected or struggling or like
Yelling about the situation.
CJ,
Yeah,
if you
do I
want to
notice
give
that?
me,
Do I notice
yeah,
that?
I'll say like through the whole situation, like Wiggs is still kind of a beat up, broken guy, but he does seem to be at times like up against the cage, clutching, saying something, trying to talk to someone. Uh, there is some degree of distress, but
It's bad, guys. It's all bad. We either act now, or there's only going to be one friend left to save. It's up to you guys. But it might already be too late.
Damn it.
So what do we do? What's our plan?
Well,
We didn't
If
end
we
up
can't
getting
fight
our
them,
arrest, did we?
No.
I'm more
Friends,
risky.
need I remind you, if we do go in now, a friend here is still hurt.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I haven't had a chance to do work for him, and it's going to take a while. And I point at Davis.
Yeah, like
But
more often than not, Davis is kind of like ready to go for a lot of this shit, but he definitely looks far more hesitant and like doubtful at this particular moment.
One of our heaviest
I,
hitters, as it were, is um,
He definitely does
needs
slightly flex when
assistance.
you say one of our heaviest hitters, and also looks over at Karos when you say that, though.
no, he's vital to you know the dynamic of the team. But
I mean, if the
I'm
time is
starting to
now,
worry.
guys, I don't. But Brock,
You
we
mean the
have to
time
know. We
maybe
have to
isn't
know.
So we
the
can become a little more powerful. We can get up to full strength if we wait, if we rest. Are they becoming stronger as we speak? I didn't.
no.
I didn't account for this. I don't.
Is there while I was watching them do the little is there anything I could have learned like any sort of like arcane trick?
You. Hey, I was waiting for you to ask the right type of questions. Yeah.
What did he say?
Hey,
I missed it.
is there anything he could have learned or something like that?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, of course. Like, yes, you are amongst them for a ritual. Go ahead and give me an Arcana check. As you're kind of watching what's
Oh
going
my
on.
best, bro. Okay, I
You
rolled
also
the four.
have
It's
four
16.
tens.
Oh, I rolled already. 16 total.
16 total.
Yeah.
Okay. So it very much looks like a ritual. It very much looks like a ritual that involves all three of them to participate in. So likely it is very taxing and very straining. Um, by the way that it's set up, you're not certain, but you get the you get the sense that this is going to take a while. This is going to take them some time to complete. Just based on the size, like you when you were looking at it, there were, we're talking a ritual space that is taking up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like 100 by 100 feet, if not more, right? That is a large scale ritual.
Yeah. They're, you know, from what I can tell from the ritual guys, it's we might be catching them at a weak point here where they're invested in something, they're tied up. Like even if we could just stop them from doing the ritual this time, it might like, just get in there and distract them, or who knows?
Can we do that without going in there?
Throw a fireball at them from
I mean, you gotta be like,
150 feet away. Actually, I can throw it from a little farther than that.
Oh,
A
because you have distance.
distraction is going to lead to blows, and then we're
Yeah,
in it no matter what.
fireball at twigs though. That wouldn't be good.
Ooh,
We need to. Is there any possibility that we could rescue and rest? Hmm.
I don't think we want to let this thing complete. I just have this gut feeling that if we let them finish this ritual, we're gonna regret it. They're gonna come out stronger, or they're gonna have some crazy strong ally to join them, or I don't know, or who knows? They'll blow up Green Hills. They'll have succeeded in bringing back. I don't know, but this is something we probably don't want them let them complete. They sure seem real into it, and it's not a small thing. Like this is a big deal.
Hmm.
you think even with
Well,
the
how
three of
about
them,
we
it's
ask?
gonna take time?
Yeah, it's true.
We can. You think we can intervene with this?
Well, how about we ask the the one we should be asking, I guess. Davis, how are you feeling? I'll do my best to support you no matter what happens, if that helps.
I mean, I'm with you guys, but yeah, I mean, I'm not great. I'm kind of tapped out on a lot of stuff, and even if I was at my best right now, it would still not be my best, right?
If we could sneak in and just grab Hava off the top and then just run, that might be enough to disrupt him.
Yeah, how do you propose we do that?
That's tough.
Oh,
I mean, I have an idea. It's not a good one.
You mentioned the pot. With destroying that, they probably have backup pots. Would that be worth a shot? I don't know what the ritual entails.
Don't know how to destroy a pot. Fireball's not going to blow up a cauldron.
Oh, it's pretty fire resistant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not that. Well, especially not one that big.
pretty sure my shattered will just not will do enough. No,
Hmm.
you
powerful,
certain
strong.
that their font of power is this cauldron?
It's
I
an
mean,
assumption, but I feel like a lot of this is.
I watched them do it, guys. I recognize some of the ritual. It's definitely part of it. There's glyphs, there's the pot, there's the chanting and the dancing. It's
I mean,
all very normal magic stuff.
yeah, we literally fought against some magic stuff that came out of a cauldron before. Like that seems to be kind of their thing. Is where a lot of magic comes from. Is those things.
True, true.
Okay. So we
Can I say,
will.
can I say a prayer to the divine sloth?
No one can
Plus,
stop you from doing that.
Hmm.
So, if everyone's cool with it, unless you have anything else you want to get off your chest right now, go for it. We're gonna go to a break while you guys kind of ponder over what's gonna happen. Short rest, long rest. Keep scrying and putting the eye and seeing what's going on. Like I don't know what you guys want to do. So, um, and I'll message the other two players see if they have any insight if they're available. See if they have anything. Make it a little bit easier for you guys.
Break would be good, yeah.